A red and black bird dips its curved beak into a treetop flower. The view changes to a wide forested valley.
From lush rainforests filled with bird song,
A wide valley,
to wind-blown volcanic desert,
a rainbow.
Haleakalā National Park protects a rare and sacred landscape.
Titles appear. Haleakalā National Park, a rare and sacred landscape. A waterfall cascades down mossy rocks. Ocean waves roll in from the horizon and crash against island cliffs.
Rising from sea level to over 10,000 feet, the park preserves diverse habitat for more than 50 endangered species. Unique plants, rare birds, even tiny insects found nowhere else on Earth.
A mottled gray insect crawls on a maroon flower.
The Aina, or land, tells the stories of centuries of tradition, where Kanaka Maoli, native Hawaiians, were provided abundant resources for life in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
Water showers down into a shallow pond. The shore is dense with green plants.
In 1916, the National Park Service joined countless generations in the stewardship of this land and the traditions that link the past to the present and future.
A park ranger in uniform uses a stone pestle to mash a pile of yellow breadfruit.
Haleakalā National Park on the island of Maui is divided into 3 distinct areas: the summit, the wilderness area, and Kīpahulu.
A map shows the park borders. On the island, 3 volcanic cones are surrounded by tall mountainous ridges.
If you are into a rocky and volcanic landscape, the summit of Haleakalā is for you.
Cloudy peaks.
This area of the mountain is known as Vauakua, which is the realm of the gods. So Akua is the Hawaiian word for God. And Vau refers to the realm that we are in. Native Hawaiians still come up to the mountain and do an oli, or a chant, or a hula, or a dance.
E ala e kalai kai kina I kamuana honu pi kaleva kalevanu I kahikina ayakala e ala e.
People on a mountain.
Humans are the same no matter what culture you're from. You're drawn to these amazing mountaintops.
High elevation, dry air, and lack of light and air pollution make the summit of Haleakalā an ideal skywatching location.
In time-lapse video, we look down from the mountains on a rolling, endless sea of clouds.
Impressive by light of day, the summit takes on a new dimension after sunset, when darkness reveals a brilliant night sky.
The Milky Way and countless stars move in a slow arc.
Day or night, remember that the weather on top of a 10,000-foot mountain is often unpredictable. It may be hot and dry or cold and wet. Water, sunscreen, and layers of clothing are essential. Wear proper footwear and be sure to walk slowly in the high, thin air.
Elsewhere, a breeze blows over a green meadow. The meadow is bordered by tall rock formations covered in lush vegetation.
Between the summit and Kīpahulu lies the Haleakalā Wilderness, showcasing dramatic and unexpected landscapes in the upper reaches of the park.
A man hikes along a narrow trail amid dusty hills.
The impressive summit crater of Haleakalā is actually the meeting of 2 valleys, formed over millennia by weathering and erosion, creating a dramatic bowl.
A harsh landscape of broken rocks and jagged ridges.
Dozens of lava vents and cinder cones have filled this bowl with countless shades of red, gray, and brown.
A few small plants dot the landscape.
Windy and exposed, this vast expanse of lava and cinder appears barren, but signs of life can be found throughout this bewildering landscape.
We see tiny flowers on stalks and a small green bush.
The most striking is the Ahinahina, the Haleakalā silver sword.
A football-sized round mass of white, spiky leaves.
Adapted to the harsh sunlight of high altitude, with leaves insulated by silver hairs, Ahinahina can live for up to a century, but flower only once.
A cluster of 5 flowers.
In just a few weeks' time, they send up a tall stalk of maroon flowers, pollinated by native insects.
Dozens of plants on the ground.
Soon after, the Ahinahina dies, scattering its seeds in the wind to begin a new generation.
The dying plant's leaves are wilted and limp, forming a loose cone around the stalk.
Visitors to the Haleakalā wilderness can day hike, spend the night in a tent, or reserve a historic cabin along the trail. In just a few miles, your feet can take you from towering cinder cones to dripping cloud forests draped with moss.
A rainbow arcs down through the mist.
In the lower, wetter parts of the wilderness, attentive hikers may see endangered nene and rare honey creepers.
The nene is a brown goose. The honey creeper is a red and black bird.
While at night, the hunting calls of ua'u, nesting seabirds, echo beneath a star-filled sky.
Trees are silhouetted against the night sky.
The Haleakalā wilderness, as its name implies, is wild and remote. The air is thin, water is scarce, and the weather, often changing unpredictably, can be severe. Before any hike, stop by a park visitor center to discuss your plans, and overnight hikers will need to pick up a wilderness permit.
At a rock-covered beach, mats of succulent plants cover parts of the ground. Ocean waves wash up against jagged black outcrops. Along oceanside cliffs, the incoming waves burst on impact into plumes of white spray. Inland, tall grasses and ferns wave in the breeze. A narrow waterfall cascades. Tourists walk on a footbridge.
Accessed via the famous Hana Highway, lush rainforests, towering waterfalls, and rocky coastlines greet your arrival at Kīpahulu.
Children play near the ocean.
While the summit is Vau'akua, the realm of the gods, Kīpahulu is Vau'kanaka, the realm of people. Abundant water, fertile soil, and ocean access provided resources for permanent habitation. And Kīpahulu remains home to a thriving culture where Kanaka Maoli, native Hawaiians, celebrate the bond between the land and its people.
Men build a grass hut.
Today, the national park shares these traditions through storytelling and cultural demonstrations.
Demonstrations include weaving, cordage making, hale building, taro farming. Everything that we do and share is important so that it won't get lost. It doesn't work when you have all this knowledge and you don't share it out.
Unlike the windy, exposed summit, Kīpahulu is often hot and wet, with up to 400 inches of rain falling in the upper valley each year. Oheo Stream, with its entire length protected in the national park, is one of a few intact freshwater stream ecosystems in Hawaii, and native fish and shrimp still thrive in these waters. While the pools and waterfalls may look inviting, swimming is not recommended. Frequent rains trigger rock slides and flash floods, which can occur unexpectedly, sometimes leading to serious injuries and death.
White water rushes down a slope, flowing around protruding rocks.
For a safe visit, obey all park personnel, heed all warning signs, and stay out of closed areas.
From an aircraft, we see a wide green valley with a small canyon in the foreground.
In the upper Kīpahulu Valley lies the remote Kīpahulu Biological Reserve.
The forested valley stretches into the distance.
Richly biodiverse, the bogs and rainforests of upper Kīpahulu Valley protect nearly pristine and increasingly rare Hawaiian ecosystems.
A natural pool is nestled amid the dense forest.
What we're protecting is bird habitat, native forests, a koa forest, a ohia forest, and thousands of other known plants.
Branches with small, narrow leaves.
So many of the plants that you see here today are not going to be found anywhere else in the world. They're endemic species specific, not just to Hawaii, not just to Maui. Some of these plants are specific to Haleakalā.
Several leafy green stalks, each topped with a white and pink flower.
Entry to the Kīpahulu Biological Reserve is only allowed to park managers and scientists working diligently to understand and protect this rare jewel of native Hawaiian rainforests.
What the national park has done is the same thing that the Hawaiians have been always doing within their environment, is to protect a special place.
A road with a Nene crossing sign.
These are just places that people love. National parks are awesome, and we're very fortunate that it is protected. Otherwise, this will not be here for future generations.
Young hikers in the forest.
People from all over the world are coming to Haleakalā because they want to see what it's all about.
An oceanside promontory and an inland rainforest.
With the help of kupuna, native Hawaiian elders, along with volunteers and visitors, Haleakalā National Park is dedicated to stewarding the treasures of this rare and sacred landscape.
The film's title appears again, and the screen fades to black. Credits. Produced, photographed, and edited by Stephen M. Baumgartner. Narrator, Kauhu James. Additional camera, Josh Helling. Additional audio, David Kuhn. Flood footage, Hana Productions. The National Park Service logo appears.